Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be shopping my stash for the items that I'm going to be focusing on for the next 2 weeks. So I have my little box here. Let's do this. I have to say, it is March 10th as I'm filming, so I'm not even really 2.5 months into my Pan That Palette project, and I'm starting to feel a little bit of the drudgery. That combined with the other project that I've created for myself of focusing on my mini-sized makeup products, I'm starting to get a little bored. I spent a good amount of time today just sort of reorganizing my palettes in particular. You may be able to notice in the background that they're organized a little bit differently there. And just doing that and seeing what I have and seeing what I haven't used in a long time is making me kind of nostalgic for items that I haven't used in a while, including some of my full-sized foundations that I really love, but that I've put on the back burner while I'm working on these minis. So I'm not quite sure what to do with that because I've set this sort of goal or rule for myself that the mini project doesn't end until I've used up all of my mini primers and foundations. There's still a ton left, so not quite sure what to do with that. I think I'm gonna just sort of try to just shake it up with the eyeshadow side of things, but keep pressing on with the foundations and then allow myself to use whatever foundation I want when I'm sitting down to film for YouTube videos. I think that's what I'm gonna do. But for everyday life, it's gonna be deluxe size minis. Hopefully that helps at any rate. So I'm going to take the camera down off its stand. It may be a little jostly today. I'm going to do it handheld instead of putting it up on a tripod, just because I'm going to be moving around different drawers and whatnot. So sorry if it makes you a little bit motion sick. Here we go. Alright, so because I am still working on this palette, I am going to put it in there. But I think for this next 2 weeks that I'm going to pull in at least one other palette as well, and then do looks using this and the other palette. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so my minis, I've got them down to 2 drawers. So there's this one and then this drawer in here, and there's really not an awful lot left in there, so I'm getting really excited about that. But you can see there are a ton of primers left. At the conclusion of the next 2 weeks, it basically coincides with the timing for my next mini update, so I want to pull products that are going to have a good chance of being finished just so I can see a spike in the numbers, because I find that to be really motivating. I know that this one from Becca is almost done. This is is it the Backlight? Yeah, the Backlight primer. And I know that this one is almost done as well. And this is also from Becca. This is the Velvet Blurring Perfecting Primer. I don't know, it's got some crazy long name. Velvet Blurring Primer Perfecting Base. When I film these, I end up looking through the viewfinder to make sure everything's in focus, but then I can't really read it, so I should just look over the camera. I think I'd actually finish both of these in the span of 2 weeks, so I'm going to pull in one more backup, just thinking optimistically. And I'm going to grab the littlest one I have. I don't think there's anything else that's on its last legs. So I'm going to grab this one here. This is the Professional from Benefit, and it's the Pearl Luminizing variety. So there we've got 3 primers. On to foundations. So I am whittling them down. They're all contained right over here. I still have 3 of these, but because my tan from Holidays is dramatically less intense than it was, these are actually working for me now. So I'm going to pull the 3 of these just to get them out of the way. This is the deluxe sample that I've been using. It's the Fenty Pro Filter. Yeah, Fenty Pro Filter. So I've been using this just to mix with the shades that are a little bit too light still. So I'm going to grab that as well. And then, then I think I'm going to give this NARS one a chance because I haven't really used it very much. So this is, am I going to do that? No, you know what? Scratch that. Bad idea. I'm going to go back. I pulled this one the last time and it's almost done now. So this is the Matte Velvet Skin from Makeup Forever and it is on its last legs. So because I want to see as much progress as possible in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to go for the one that's almost empty. Well, you know what, these three, because these are single use, and then this one maybe has maybe 3 uses in it. I don't wear foundation every single day, but I'll grab the NARS just, excuse me, just to have it on hand. All right, I'm still working on this IT Cosmetics concealer. It's darn near close to finishing, but I've had to wait for my tan to fade a bit, so it's starting to work now. I still have to mix it with my MAC, but I will put that one in the box and then head over here and grab my MAC 24-hour one as well. This one's just nice and yellow and it works really well on my skin tones, so mixing the two of them works. Okay, I am down to one setting powder, so I'm going to pull this one here. It is, let's see, less than halfway full, so more than halfway empty if we're being optimistic, right? So I'm going to keep focusing on that one. And then contour, I have that housed over here. I think I'm going to have to repress it soon, to be honest. I'll show you, just give me a second here. So there's what the contour powder looks like, and it is, as you can see, mostly pan. I have been working on this edge here, trying to narrow that down a bit as well, but it's getting hard to get it on the brush now, so I think I'm going to have to go ahead and repress that. If you're interested in seeing a video on that, let me know down in the comments below. I'll hold off for a few days, but if I don't get any interest, then I'm just going to go ahead and do it off camera. I just basically mash it up and then repress it with some rubbing alcohol, but if you want to see it, let me know. Then on to bronzer. So I used this one for the last couple of weeks. This one's still a bit too light for me. I think just to switch things up, I'm going to go with the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil. It's kind of in between the two of them, so it's working out really well for me. Since I'm in here, I may as well deal with mascara now as well. And I think this is the one I've had the longest. I'm pretty sure it's either this one or the Lancome. Let's go for the Tarte one. I think this is the longest, but it may be tied or very close to the Lancome one that I have there. So this is the Tartist, what is it? Tartist Lash Paint. So I'll grab this one and see what the formula is doing at this point, because it is quite old. All right, so for blush, I have a ton of blush samples. I have used all of them now in this series of shopping my stash. I want to shake it up. I'm not going to go for one of these samples. That's okay. That's okay. There's no hard and fast rules. There is no sample police out there. So I'm going to bring it over here. This is my drawer where I keep bronzers, highlighters, blushes, all of that. I have recently purchased the incredible, what the hell is this thing called? Incredible Bounce Blush. And this one is in the shade Be My First Kiss. I'll open it up and show you. Here is what it looks like. It is a cream blush. It's like a really pretty burnt peach kind of color. And I have been really enjoying it. Like, I really like it. I'm usually not huge into cream blushes, but this one's really, really pretty. It blends out really nicely and it does last all day. So that's the one that I want to focus on for the next 2 weeks. I may bring in something else depending on what color eyeshadows I'm wearing, things like that, but this is the plan and that's the one that's going to go into the basket at any rate. I have a number of highlighters that I would rather use than what's left in these samples. I have this, which one is this, Opal? Yeah, I have Opal from Becca, which I actually quite like. And then I have the Vanish Stick from Hourglass. This is what I've been working on the last 2 weeks. I don't like this kind of product. Like, I like the way it looks once it's on, but I don't like the actual application of it. It's too much effort. I prefer powder. And then I have this here from Cover FX. These are the luminizing drops. Custom Enhancer Drops. This is in the shade Moonlight. And I'm on the fence about this. I'm going to put this in the basket this week because this is the product that I've been ignoring and just glossing over all year so far. So I'm going to give it a go, and if it's something that I just can't work with, then I'm going to declutter it from my collection. But I don't want to declutter it until I've at least given it the old college try. Alright, eyeshadow primer. I do have others in full size, but this one is damned near empty from Urban Decay, so I'm going to throw that back in the basket and hopefully finish it up before I film another one of these videos. Eyeliners, like I keep leaving these in this drawer saying I'll pull them if I need them, and then I just completely forget about them, so I'm constantly just using the brown one. So what I'm going to do is just shove them all in the basket so that I can at least see what I have, because I am very much an out of sight, out of mind kind of person, so I need to see them in order to even have them cross my radar. So they're all going to go in the basket. Also, side note, every time I say it goes in the basket, all I hear is, it puts the lotion in the basket or else it gets the hose. And that's just kind of terrifying. I may as well pull this out since it's here. This is my Fix Plus setting spray, and it is getting down to it. I think that should definitely be finished in the next 2 weeks. Okay, so then I have this palette, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, and I'm thinking I want something that can do like a pop of color kind of deal. So I'm going to go over into this drawer over here, which is also newly reorganized, although ultimately very messy looking. And I think, I didn't plan this in advance, but it is just kind of sitting there. And this is the one that was popping into my mind when I was thinking about pops of color, because I bought this a while ago and I've still never used it. So give me a second and I'll show you what's inside. So there is the inside of the palette. Now all of those shadows are shimmery / metallic in nature. This is meant to be a highlighter, and then this is meant to be like a blush, but it's altogether far too shiny. And it's too shiny to be a blush for me, and it's too pink to be a highlighter for me, so probably just use it as an eyeshadow. So I think this would be a good option because the Tartelette in Bloom palette is so neutral in nature that this can work with any of those shades and then just create a little bit of something on the lids and give me a little bit of a creative outlet. So that should be fun to work with and help to get past the drudgery of the Pan the palette. And then the last thing for me to pick is a perfume sample. So I have them all sitting here. Again, I'd like to make a bit of a dent in these. So I know this one here, Gucci Bamboo, is just about done. So I'm going to throw that one in as well. I don't think I have another one that's like close to being finished. But I kind of want, like I was looking at my perfumes and stuff today, and I have like the full size of Chloe Love Story, and I love that perfume. So this is a sample of it, so I'm going to at least get to wear the scent, and should probably finish that in the 2 weeks as well. Alright, so perfume has been selected. So there we go, guys. This is my makeup basket for the next 2 weeks. Hopefully this helps get me past the pending boredom of the Pan That palette, and hopefully I can make a good dent in these foundations as well. Thank you so much for coming along with me and shopping my stash, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being.